Hello everyone, welcome back to another custom battle. One of you wanted to find out who's currently better, the Bestigors or the Black Orcs, and we're about to watch a battle between them. Now, I'll talk a little bit about the Black Orcs, not too much, but a little bit. You've got Black Orcs who were, according to legend, created by the Chaos Dwarves, because dwarves had, of course, slaves, and those were often greenskins, and unfortunately for them, they would squabble and just not really be up to the job every time. They wanted to make a bigger, greener, meaner slave, and they did. Unfortunately, the slave part was left out. The Black Orcs were actually quite intelligent. They were rugged and very militaristic, and they would rise up and nearly completely destroy the Chaos Dwarf Empire. I mean, they went up to their capital and they were like, knock, knock, and they were about to break them down. But hey, they were able to fight back due to the betrayal of hobgoblins, and they were able to push them out, and Black Orcs would escape, and they're now part of greenskin society. And they usually fight in their own groups. I mean, they kind of look down on a lot of the other orcs for squabbling and being inferior, and they hate goblins even more. But they are definitely the strongest, biggest, meanest orcs ever. You do not want to fight them. And the Bestigors, they are the biggest, strongest gores that you have in a Beastman herd. Now, they usually serve as personal retainers to a chieftain. They usually get the pick of the better gear and armor, to where they usually look pretty cohesive in a way, because I mean, they get a pick. And we'll go in slow motion from time to time to find out, you know, how the battle will go, how things will end up. I like fighting on snow from time to time. You can have a pretty good contrast about, you know, who's dead. Why? They're a darker color, and then you've got blood. Red blood being spilled all over the map. You've always got to love that. I do hope eventually we'll have a variant of the Black Orc that has a sword and shield, that has a great weapon. I mean, they kind of do right now, but you get my point. Like, the Minotaurs have a lot of stuff too. And you could do that for nearly like every unit to give them more variety. I mean, they do need new animations, I suppose. I mean, that is true. Slow motion time. It's a good way to find out about the animations. Oh, there went your arm. Well, I can give you a hand. That won't work out. It wasn't a very long battle. I mean, they were comparable in number. They went into fight to try to win. But I don't know if they have it all under control right now. I do not. Okay, let's keep on looking and watching. Look at them go. Yeah, I don't always use slow motion, but only from time to time. That way, we can get a good idea what the animations are like. I mean, to me, what's very important in a game like Total War is that you've got good interaction for the animations to look like they're actually fighting. Like right now, the Lord battles are not that fun to watch, only because it kind of like hit a concussive wave of force at another opponent. I hope in the future, maybe one day they'll tweak that. I don't know. I know it's a lot of work to tweak a variety of races. I mean, I'm sure that what they're doing now is a lot more work because they're not copy-pasting a bunch of human factions and changing up their appearance. I mean, hell, a modder can do that, but they're making a completely new race. So, I mean, I do actually get that. And now that I look at them, and now that I'm like playing the Beastman expansion pack thing, I get it now. Because they actually feel like one of the most refined and best races in the game currently. I find it kind of crazy. I mean, I didn't think that would be the case, but they're definitely one of the premier ones. I mean, in multiplayer, I've been coming up with builds like crazy. A variety of them. I mean, you never want to go for a giant, expensive build. I will mention that. That never goes well. Eventually, you'll be weathered, and you'll die. You could have a bunch of gyrocopters pop on in and shoot you up, and that wouldn't end well. So, I mean, you still need to think about balance, but having a army that's able to kind of deploy anywhere on the map is really powerful. That can change up a game quickly. Your opponent might be caught unaware. They might depend on a lot of cannon, and if you're in their face right then, or if they want to shoot at you and you're right there in their face, I mean, yeah, they're going to have a harder time. Centaurs are so quick. I feel like the Beastmen were balanced in a way that every other faction should have been balanced. I mean, they just feel a lot better. I mean, your Vanguard army in the front that's able to Vanguard deploy, where they're able to deploy in that little white deployment zone, they can actually fight for a time before needing help to hold. I mean, you're not going to have your Lord there. I don't believe any of the Beastmen Lords have Vanguard deployment. And there's room for a lot more units too for the Beastmen. I'm sure that we'll get them in time as free LC or DLC or whatever. But I mean, we have a very good Warhammer game entirely. I'm very shocked about how good it turned out to be. I didn't think it would be as premier and good, but it actually did. It ended up being really good, and I'm very happy about that. I mean, it's a thing that I think a lot of people have been wanting for a very long time. And there really isn't a comparison to it. We're nearly done now. And the battle keeps on going. We are not done yet, but we are reaching the end. We're getting close to that conclusion. Again, to let all of you know, as I like to always remind you, if you would like to see future battles, any type of battle at all, I can set it up for you. I can talk about lore. If you want to know about anything in the game, give me, I don't know, a question, and I'll talk about it. If you want to go, hey, Surreal, I want to have a battle of blah, 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 fighting the blah, blah, blah. Okay, sure, no problem at all. We can do that. We can make it work. It's no problem. But you gotta let me know. And again, if you see another comment where a person's like, hey, I want that, and you're like, hey, I want that too, upvote it. A lot of upvotes let me know that a lot of people want to go watch that, and I can do it quickly at that point. I'll be like, yeah, I'll put that on my priority list, and why not? The priority queue, if you want to call it that. We are getting it done. Okay, we are reaching our conclusion. Yeah, I bulk recorded and I found out my mic wasn't on, so I've had to do a lot of post commentary. I was like, oh, come on. Usually when I do that, yeah, it often happens to me. My fortune is not always the best. I usually check before I begin to make sure that my mic is all good to go. I mean, you gotta do that whenever you're doing what I'm doing right now, because I mean, you don't want to have to work the whole day, recording for like 5 to 10 hours, and you're going, okay, I'm done. And then you look and you go, wow, what a great day. And you lose your mind for a good like 30 minutes. Like I did. They're fleeing now. Okay, we need to go look at the actual stats at the very end to find out who's killed the most, and I'd like to kind of give you that screen. That way you know who's killed the most and you can get a better idea. But yeah, one of you wanted to know who is better. I didn't increase any stats or whatever. They just kind of went in there and they fought for a long time. Okay, here we go. Check it out there. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, comment, and sub, and as always, until then.